Oh, guys, yes, the kid is 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 the kid. Look, I bricked it. I bricked it. Call me double L. It's actually not bricknet, actually. Okay, bricknet was not the thing. Okay, look, let me just explain what happened in that life. I was confused as to what the hell was happening. But I realized that I've got to basically, I'm putting myself under review. I got suspended a few times, but I put myself under review because I was wondering where the sound was coming from. This brick moron that I was for this instance, I had the tab open that had the live flipping video playing, and I did not realize that the flipping tab was still open. So call me all you want, say what you want, but you know what? You know what I say? I'm still the kid. I'm still the sexiest football analyst in the world. I'm still the best football analyst in the world. So screw you guys. So the thing is that we want to say right now is we're going to talk about this is going to mainly be about Euro 2020 and about favorites, underdogs, looking at the different teams and so forth. But before we go there, I want to talk about this whole Messi thing and about Messi winning this so-called international trophy and how much importance you should actually we should put towards this. So as we said again, so I'm going to go to you first, Hazem. So first of all, how much importance do you place on Messi winning that so-called international trophy? And do you feel that and what was your reaction to people's reactions towards him winning the trophy, saying that, oh, this is a massive thing? Bleacher Report said, oh no, this is not a drill. He has finally won an international trophy. So what were your reactions to the reactions of him winning the trophy?
I mean, when I saw the internet's reaction to him winning a trophy, and especially Bleacher Report and all these serious journalist platforms, I thought they were joking. I honestly thought they were joking when they said they finally won an international trophy, and I still think that they are joking, because there's no way in hell that they're actually considering that as an international trophy, because there's no way that is. He won a friendly game. He won a friendly game. Okay, fine. It's against Brazil, whatever, the big rivalry in South America. But it's a friendly. How many friendlies have we had between Argentina and Brazil? And they played it was in Saudi Arabia. It was a big event. All right. But to claim a trophy, and I don't think even Messi himself claimed it or anything like that. He just took a picture and I guess celebrated, because I guess he was relieved that he finally got some kind of international trophy. But I didn't hear him say anything about it. All I heard is the media going crazy. And I mean, for me, it's just a joke, because I saw bits and pieces of the game and he didn't even play that well. He made many mistakes. And all right, he scored the penalty rebound. Great job. He won a friendly game. And he missed the penalty and he scored the rebound, so he couldn't even do that. But I just don't see what the whole fuss is about.
The fuss is that it's Messi and he's the most overrated footballer in the history of this sport.
Easy, machine relax.
I mean, I'll conclude by saying that I just think it's a big joke on the internet, and like people are just taking the make out of this, saying that he won a trophy. Oh, he did win a friendly trophy, all right. But with the Messi fanboys, I really hope that they're not really using that as an argument or as an actual trophy, because that would be absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. That's all I'll say on this.
All right. Actually, no. Before I go to machine, because obviously I think we have to build up to machine because I know exactly where it's going to go to. So Abdullahi, I don't know what the hell that sound is. Abdullahi, your thoughts on this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. For me, I watched the match. I watched the match, and for me, it's a friendly match. It's not even an actual trophy. Why is people putting too much hype on this? I don't even know what's going on with Messi fanboys.
So why do you think they're hyping up this trophy so much? It's
a friendly match. I understand the rivalry between Brazil and Argentina. This is a friendly match. It's not even a competitive match. This is just actually friendly. If we are counting this as a cup, then we need to count Cristiano Ronaldo Nations League as an actual trophy too. If we are counting this as a cup, we need to count Cristiano Ronaldo Nations League against.
Stop conflating the Nations League with this non-thing. This is
Exactly.
nothing. This is
Wait,
this is
Machine,
genuinely a
chill,
friendly.
chill,
The
chill. We'll
Nations
get
League.
to you, Machine, will
That's what I'm
chill.
saying.
The
We'll get
Nations
to you,
League is a
Machine.
new
Just chill.
tournament.
Oh my god.
Let
This is what
Abdullahi
I'm
right.
saying.
Okay, Abdullahi, just land. Abdullahi,
This
land,
is what I'm saying.
land.
I agree with what Machine said. This is what I'm saying. This is an ordinary friendly. This is not even a competitive match. Why people just happy that he won the friendly? Let him win the Copa America. Win the World Cup, then we can talk. Then we can talk. We can tell you the best player in the world. But for now, actual friend, I don't even count this as a competitive match at all. I don't even count it at all. I'm sorry, I don't count it.
Of course. Yeah.
All right, Machine, your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't understand why Hazim is so flabbergasted by this. This is par for the course with the Messi propaganda machine. I mean, he won the best trophy off the back of a hat trick against Betis and for punching Fabinho. So I don't understand why you're so shocked. And he's going to win a Ballon d'Or again for what? Nothing for this, I guess, for winning this friendly. But it's just I mean, nothing surprises me with Messi. The amount of media protection, the amount of institutional protection, the people decided, the cadre decided that they were going to hoist this guy up, this system player up, as the best player of all time, and reality be damned. And that's what they've been doing for the past 15 years, even though the real GOAT has been contemporaneous with him and winning things the proper way.
Okay. So let me ask you this then, because I believe that the Nations League and the Super Classico are pretty much the same thing. But why do you believe that the Nations League is a more credible trophy than the Super Classico trophy then?
It's not even close. One's a tournament that's going to be around forever. This is something they cooked up, for some Saudi person's leisure. And for Messi to win, probably. It's nothing. This is nothing. It's an isolated, friendly match. That's all it is, with a trophy at the end. It's like those things that it's like the Audi Cup that Real Madrid plays every preseason.
Okay.
Are we going to count that as a trophy as well? I mean, it's ludicrous. It's not. I'm not even sure why people are giving this the time of day, other than the fact that it's Messi. And again, people are desperate to hoist him up as a contender for the best player in the world. Which he is.
I mean, basically, look, the way I view it, to me, I felt that it was extremely sad how people were trying to make this into a big deal. Because look, I believe that both trophies are not major trophies, but if we now want to compare them like for like, the Nations League is a flipping tournament. You have to actually go through teams. So the Nations League is far more difficult to win than the flipping Super Classico, which was something that was just pretty much created. So, but the thing that just worries me is the desperation. And look, I think that there is desperation from both camps, the Cristiano camp and the Messi camp, because they are just hoping that these guys can somehow get it done. So they are clutching at any straw. So any kind of trophy whatsoever, it just gets ballooned up and just gets over and over emphasized. And I just want to
why are you saying that from the Cristiano camp when he already overfulfilled for Portugal more than Messi will ever dream of? Listen, can I just say something? HH, sorry.
Yeah.
Winning the Euro Cup for Portugal is the same as winning 3 World Cups for Brazil.
Machine, that's crazy.
To that. No, it's not. It's absolutely true. Portugal's never won anything. Portugal qualified for all of 4 World Cups out of 20 something, and it's 100+ year history prior to Cristiano. Cristiano showed up; they qualified for every single one. I mean, it's a nation that's always produced talent, but it's never delivered, and it's only delivered in the Cristiano era. It's the exact opposite with Messi. Messi plays for a country, for a nation that's won everything. It's won 17 Copa Americas. It's won 2 World Cups. And then Messi shows up, and all of a sudden, it's crickets everywhere.
Okay, look, man. But look, look. Listen, my thing about it is that look, I disagree with you saying that 3 Euros equals one World Cup, because I get it. I understand where you're coming from based on how Portugal have never won a major trophy and everything. But at the end of the day, we can't keep making excuses, turning the arguments. We have to be very precise. Win the flipping trophy, and then we can then talk and then go beyond them, man. So, look, man, let's just look about this whole Euro 2020 thing, man. And look, am I wrong in saying that I don't feel that France are favorites for the Euros? So I don't feel that, because France are World Cup winners. Yes, I get that. France will be going into that thing with the best squad. But I feel that maybe you can say it's the whole Didier Deschamps thing, is the fact that they've had a very dodgy qualification. Even though that having a dodgy qualification doesn't really actually mean anything, really, because it's all about what you actually do when you actually come into the tournament proper. But something just tells him that, and this is why I think this Euro is going to be so exciting, that this is going to be a very open Euro that anybody can win. Because I don't think that there's a true super house or superpower that a team should really fear. So with regards to France, I'll go to Hazem. Do you put France as favorites? Do you think that France actually will underachieve? Do you think France will actually are going to do quarters max? Where do you see France with regards to this Euro 2020?
So this is what I'll say about France. I said it last hangout about this topic, is that France are favorites. But what I'll say is they're not huge favorites by any way. And the only reason they are favorites,
they have the prodigy, bro. They have the prodigy. And Labille.
Yeah, they do. And but I'll say this, they haven't impressed me that much in the qualifications. And I'll say the only reason they are still favorites for me is no one has really showed up to try and overtake them. No big team has really put the case forward to be considered favorites ahead of France. It's not that France have somehow showed something amazing since the World Cup, or kept up those performances of the World Cup. It's just that, the other big guns, Germany, England, all right, England showed some talent. Spain, nothing, playing well, but nothing special. I just don't think anyone has put up a case to match the level that France has set up. And I think if France just maintain what they did in the World Cup, they were getting the results in the qualifications in this group, even though Turkey caused them some problems, but they're getting results. And I just see they have a really talented squad. And when you have such a talented squad, the most important thing is stability.
So, okay, but just so you don't think that Belgium have put forth a strong case that they could possibly be a threat if they do meet? Because I want them to meet in a final. That's my dream final. So do you think Belgium have put forth a strong case?
I would say Belgium have put forward the strongest case out of the others. But the reason I'm always struggling with Belgium is they've always put a really strong case before the tournaments. If you realize, before last World Cup, before the previous Euros, everyone was putting Belgium so high, and many people were even putting Belgium as the favorites because of the talent they had in the squad and the performances they had in the qualifications. But they always somehow managed to cut up short. And I don't know what's going to happen in this tournament, but there's always a first time for everything. So I'm saying Belgium put the strongest case, with Lukaku showing up. Wow, he scored a great goal recently. And, they have De Bruyne as well. They have a very strong team. So I'm saying Belgium is the strongest contender to France, and they're the closest ones. But I'm still struggling to put them as favorites, just because of their track record of always having a strong case and never really having the final product. So let's see how it goes with Belgium. I'm observing them very closely.
Okay. So Abdullahi, thoughts on France and France's chances at the Euros?
For me, I'm not taking France as favorite right now. Like I said,
Easy. Why not? They have the prodigy. They have the
I know.
Giroud. They have the Griezmann.
I know. They have Griezmann. They have They have everybody. For me, I'm not still taking them as favorite because I don't even know the pattern they play. Someone should just tell me what kind of pattern is France playing.
It's
Is
about
it
winning.
pragmatic?
Right? It's all
Is
about
it-
winning.
is it-
It's all about winning.
if it's
They had zero pattern at the World Cup. Did they win the World Cup? I think they did.
okay. If it's all about winning, then if it's all about winning, I'm not gonna take them as favorite. I'm still gonna take Portugal and Belgium ahead of them as
What?
favorite. Yes, I'm taking Portugal and Belgium ahead of France right now. I'm taking Portugal and Belgium ahead of France because for me that France, if Care is not taking, then the last max only is quarterfinals.
So, wait, so Abdullah,
Hmm?
are you disrespecting the talents of Flip Mbappe, the prodigy?
I'm not disrespecting Kylian Mbappe's talent. I'm not disrespecting that at all. He's a very wonderful player. I'm not disrespecting his talent. But what I'm saying is, France national team, the only way they can go max is quarterfinal because that team needs stability. Like what Azim said, that team needs stability. I've never seen a play that have not been impressing me a lot. That will guarantee me that I will say yes, this is your time favorite. I can guarantee them favorite. No, for me, maximum is quarterfinals. If Kia is not taking,
Whoa,
round of-
easy. Oh, sorry, wait, chill. By the way, this Us being trash, guys, very rude. Josh, very, very rude. Take this comment back. Don't. The Us is not trash.
No, for me, Ousmane
Excuse
Dembele.
me.
Ousmane
Quarters
Dembele.
max? Are you sick in the head? Quarters max?
Yeah, quarter max. Double H. I'm
Wait,
taking
wait.
Belgium.
No.
I'm taking Belgium.
Wait, chill. They won the World Cup. So you're saying the World Cup winners quarters max at the
They won the
Euros?
World Cup. Quarter max. I'm saying it right now because they lack consistency. They lack consistency. So I'm not going to take them into the finals. I'm sorry. I'm not putting my money on them right now. Right now, I'm not putting my money on them. I'm going to put my money on Portugal right now to win it, even ahead of Belgium. Before putting on France. I'm sorry. I'm not putting on France.
No. We'll get to Portugal, but I'm gonna say this thing. You said quarters max.
Yes.
It's your point is saved. Your point is saved. Machine France.
Yeah, I think they're the favorites on paper, definitely. Yeah, they're the favorites. They're the favorites,
Yeah.
but it's they're not strong favorites, and I don't think there's such a thing as strong favorites this tournament, which is
Yes.
why don't sleep on Portugal.
Okay. So you said they are favorites on paper. So do you not feel that when it now comes to putting it out on the pitch, they'll be able to get it done and be able to pretty much use the same kind of approach they had in the World Cup at the Euros and just find a way of winning? It may not be pretty, it may not be attractive, but you don't feel that Deschamps or the team will not figure out a way to win?
No. I mean that's why I call them favorites. I think they'll probably win it, but it's not. It's not like Spain in when they won 2 back-to-back Euros. Where they were clearly the favorites. I would say I would consider them soft favorites for the title, and Belgium for sure not because they're just they don't have the mentality.
Oh no! Don't worry, we'll get to Belgium. Okay, so let's move to Belgium now. Now look, this is my thing with the Belgium, and I think I sort of mentioned this before. It depends whether we see Hazard or Zad. If we see Hazard, quarters max. If we see Zad, they can win it. It's as simple as that.
Oh my God.
No disrespect to De Bruyne, but De Bruyne is Robin. De Bruyne is a sidekick. He kicks Zad's side. He's a supporting act. He's the mistress. He's not the wife. He's the mistress. He's the escort.
Oh my.
Okay.
Can I just make a prediction, HH?
Let me land, man. Just let me land. He's the playboy bunny. Okay. He's not. Basically, he's the one that you cheat on with your wife. He isn't the centerpiece. If Belgium's only chance of winning this whole thing is if Zad shows up. If Hazard shows up, quarters max. That is as simple as that. Lukaku can do what he wants, Origi can do what he wants, everybody can do what he wants, Mertens can do what he wants. Belgium go as far as Zad can take them. So it just depends whether we see Hazard or whether we see Zad. Hazard.
You'll see. My prediction is that you'll see Hazard until the quarters. You'll see him in group stages tearing it up against the minnows. But then once once it gets real, you're gonna see Hazard.
Just say that, bro. Mr. Nico, no central midfielder is better than Verratti, and most certainly not to De Bruyne. So you're smoking crack. Hazem, thoughts on Belgium? How well do you think they can do?
Yeah, I mean, I commented on this earlier, but you know, I really hope Hazard comes to this tournament, and when he's finally reached his
You mean
full
Zad?
form.
You mean Zad? You mean Zad? You mean Zad?
Yeah. Zard. Let's go with Zard. I really hope that he doesn't bring this whole happy meals with him and all that. And the way he's playing with Real Madrid, I just really hope it's just a stage, and he gets through it. He is improving, as I'm seeing him slowly improving, and let's see how it goes. It all depends not only on Hazard, but also depends on uh, how the whole team's chemistry works out again. Because with Belgium, it's also been a thing where they do kind of have chemistry, but not the best chemistry. And I've never really seen Belgium with a top coach. I mean, now with Martinez,
Yeah, Martinez
he's.
is from the road.
I mean, come on, man! You have such a big national team with such huge talents, and you have such coaches like Martinez. Are you serious? And you're expecting to do something big in the big games? I mean, I think that also plays a role. So I don't understand why the Belgian Federation don't go for a top coach, someone that can really take them somewhere, and that might be the missing thing for Belgium. Obviously, Hazard's performance is one of the missing links. If Hazard hits top form, they can be dangerous. But even when Hazard is on top form, as we saw in the World Cup, they still couldn't get past the semis. So
But no, but then remember, they lost to the eventual winners, and that was a very, very close game.
yeah, I mean,
Very
it
close
was
game.
it
With just
was
one goal
close.
in it.
But if Belgium had a world class coach, I think they could have reached the final and beat France, because you combine Hazard's abilities and obviously the rest of the team with a world class coach with a solid plan and playing style and a personality that can lead the team in the locker room mentally. Then I think they could really get over it, because you have to remember that France's team in that year was really, really strong mentally. They had many leaders in the locker room, and they had a really good cohesion. So the mental aspect for Belgium is something important, and I think I don't think Martinez is the guy to, maximize the ability of this team and get them to the final. So let's see how it goes. As I said, I just don't see them being favorites, even with how Hazard performing. I think they can reach maybe even the final. But to win it, the whole thing, I just think they need more things to go in place, especially the coach, and they need a world
Okay,
class coach.
okay. Lance, my chances for Belgium at this Euros.
Um, pretty good, pretty good. They're probably t- top four favorites. There's France, probably favorites to win the competition. Germany are looking pretty good. England are looking alright.
Specifically for Belgium, do you think that with that Hazem is right that it depends mainly on the manager, or does it require mainly on the
No,
players
I
getting
never thought national team managers affect the team's performance too much. I mean, they just don't have enough time to positively or negatively influence the players. I think Martinez has qualified enough. He's done a good job. He's a forward thinking manager. You could make the argument that a team with as much attacking talent as Belgium has needs a manager that is more pragmatic. I heard that before. If you have a team
Mm.
like France, Deschamps is actually a really good manager because, he keeps it tight at
the
the back,
ability to
and
be
he lets
We could have a Mourinho for Belgium.
so you have a Mourinho, yeah, but he's all right. He's all right. He's not a horrible manager. He's certainly not the Martinez that bricked it up at Everton. But as far as Hazard is concerned, man, he could he's heating up. He started off slow. He was injured at the start, which people tend to forget. He was injured
Mm.
because Sarri overplayed him and mismanaged his injury from last year or last season. But he had a insane game against Eibar. He had a stupendous performance against Russia, and he's heating up. And the sky's the limit, And Hazard plays like he's now, past 2 games, he can have a really special season with Madrid and the national team. So
So I think Hazard has the ability to lead Belgium to Euro glory, or he needs
lesser
the
lesser players have led or really helped worse teams win stuff. I mean, hell, Greece with Haristeas in 2004. Who remembers Haristeas, right? Won the Euros. So why not? Why not? Of course he can. Will he? That's a different question. But I think he has the talent. He has the clutch gene in him for sure. We've seen that in the past. So yeah, why not? Why?
Why does it have to be Hazard?
Easy, relax, chill. Borussia Core, Belgium. What chance do you give Belgium at this Euros? Borussia Core.
0 chance. Not going anywhere. Very irrelevant.
Like, chill. You realize that they have Zad, De Bruyne, Mertens, Origi, Lukaku, Witzel, Alderweireld, and so forth in their team. Why do you give them 0 chance?
Because even you can have all the world-class players in your team and still lose in the Euros. It's happened before. It literally has happened.
What kind of argument is that?
So my thing here is Belgium is irrelevant. And listen, I respect the players they have, but there is no history in that nation. You see,
I respect their chocolate and
No history. Is it?
and I think the thing here is, Hazard, he knows how to gel with these Belgian players, which is really good because I'm seeing connections between him and Lukaku and so forth. And I think it's very good that he's having these connections and he's scoring 2 Gs and then getting assists. But I just want to say this. I just think for Hazard, the minimum that he can take this team is probably a round of 16s, and probably that's it. I don't see Belgium going to the final.
Wait. Why are you disrespecting? So you're saying if Zad shows up, you're saying close they can get his round of 16?
I think so, yeah.
Wait, are you sick in the head? Do you know who Zad? I didn't say Hazard, Zad. There's a difference between Hazard and
Who's
Zad.
Belgium's assistant coach? Who's Belgium's assistant coach? Is it Henry? No, it's not Henry.
What?
Exactly. It's Martinez. Martinez is the head coach. Martinez is horrible. He doesn't play any type of attacking football. The guy is just horrible. So what else do you want me to say? And they're irrelevant too. I'm sorry, HH, but these guys aren't going
Why are they
anywhere.
irrelevant?
Okay, cool. That's your choice. Abdullahi, Belgium. Thoughts for Belgium? How far can they go?
Wow, Double H. I'm gonna say 2 things. The first one is I want to see Zad first. If Zad show up, they're winning it. If Hazard is not, if I see Hazard in that Euro 2020, Double H, group stage max. Group stage max.
Wait.
Group stage.
No. Abdullahi, chill. Group stage what?
Yes, if I see Hazard, Hazard, group stage max. But if I see Zad, they are winning it.
Wow.
They are winning it. If I see Hazard in that Euro 2020, group stage maximum. I'm sorry. I love Hazard, but group stage. But if I see Zad, they are winning with Double H. They're winning.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. That's fair. Okay. Machine, Belgium. Chances for Belgium at this Euros.
I already said my piece, man. They're not going anywhere. I don't think they're going. They're not. It's not.
Easy.
not-
What if Zad shows up? What if Zad shows up?
I don't rate him all that high. I think he's mentally a mentally weak
Be careful there
player.
with they change.
A lot of
Wait,
flash.
but Machine, they got to the World Cup semis. How can you not rate a team that got to the World Cup semis and only just lost to the winners by 1 goal?
That's true.
Listen, Portugal's will go to the World Cup semis countless times. I don't think they're going to win the World Cup anytime soon, unless like a miracle happens. But a miracle named goat. But
Oh my god.
but yeah, it's. I never thought we were going to win it against, and it was always guilt-edged sort of deals, Versus France, we lost against Zidane's France by. A pube. Lost against Spain. Actually, we got robbed against Spain with an offside David Villa goal that stood. Yeah, but it's not. I don't see it in the stars, man, and I don't see it in the stars for Belgium.
How far did the Belgium go then? What's the furthest they go?
Quarters. I'm with Milkor quarters.
Oh boy, you a Milkor?
All right. Shush. That was not a thing for you to speak. Just relax. Let's look at Germany now. I need somebody to please tell me how Joachim Löw still has a job, because this clown should have been sacked after you failed to qualify from your group and you came bottom of your group. I don't think Germany are going to make any impact whatsoever, mainly because of Joachim Löw. If they had a different manager, Timo Werner, Leroy Sané, Gnabry, that is a very dangerous front line. And obviously with the emergence of Nicolas Sola and some of the midfield is a big thing, because I still feel like if Toni Kroos needs a Schweinsteiger in there, but just based off that attack alone, I think, and also with some of their young players coming through, I think Germany could do something. But because they have a clown as a coach who, I don't know what he has on, whether he's got photos or something from guys from the German FA. I don't know how he still has his role. It goes beyond me. So for Germany, I'm saying round of 16 max. Round of 16 max. I don't see them stiffing the court. Wait a minute, no, wait. Sorry. I don't think there's a round of 16. I think they've now gone back to the old format, haven't they?
Really?
Oh, there's round of
No, I
16.
think
There's
there's still
round
round
of
of 16.
There's round of 16. I think it's
Okay.
It's
I went to the old form. Like you go to the quarters after the group stage. But okay, if there's a round of 16,
sure.
round of 16 max. All right, Hazem, Germany.
Germany, man. This is so weird, man. This team is so weird. It's like they've done all right in qualifications somehow, although they did struggle against the Netherlands, and I just don't know how these guys will deal with the big teams. I don't know how Germany can come up and beat someone like a France or someone like a Belgium when they're losing to the Netherlands 4-2. And don't get me wrong, an improved and good-looking Netherlands team, but how you guys gonna keep conceding goals like that, and then try and do something in the tournaments? Germany has historically been a defensively very solid team, and if you look at the 2014 World Cup, for example, their defense was the foundation of that team, with Hummels, Boateng, Peak, and great defensive performances from Philip Lahm as well.
Mm.
But now it's like their defense is missing. I don't know who their defense is. They literally, in this last game against Belarus, they had to play Ginter and Koch in center backs. So what's going on in the defense? And it's like you guys don't have anyone in defenders. You sacked Muller and Boateng from the team, which I don't know why Lowe did. He sacked the veterans, so there's just a really young team right now, with no one in the defense to lead the defense, and they're conceding goals left and right against the semi-decent teams. And all right, they have a good attack with obviously Serge Gnabry, Timo Werner, Goretzka. And the midfield's pretty decent as well with Kimmich, Kroos, and Gundogan. But are these players really playing together and playing for the coach? And in the tough matches, will they be able to go through?
So
I
how
think
far?
so.
How far? What's quarters max, round of 16 max, semis max?
Uh, Look, they can beat the small teams. I'm gonna go with quarters max. Quarters max. Yep, hundred
Okay.
percent. They're not getting past quarters. I'm sorry.
Okay. Go to Landtheimer, Germany. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're German, aren't you?
yeah. I am. Man, with
So
this
tell me,
team,
be honest, man. Don't be bad. Be honest, can
I'm gonna tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. So with this team and with this coach, we're not doing anything. And let me tell you something. If we're being honest, 5 years ago, the World Cup, how much of it was the players and how much of it was Joachim Löw, right? Because you had Sami Khedira, you had Marco Reus, who was injured at the time, who were in the form of their lives. You had Schweinsteiger, you had Lahm in their prime. You had a warhorse like Miroslav Klose, who they wanted to win. But even then, Löw put
Close
Lahm
it.
on the six and played Mustafi in Lahm's position until he got injured against Algeria in the round of 16. So it was then that he saw that it was completely asinine to put Lahm as a number 6 and not back. But anyway, I think Germany might not make it out of the groups under this manager. And I'm being completely honest with you right now. I just don't see a future for this coach, and it's just his decisions have been.
wait, but Landtheimer, can I ask how the hell does he still have a job after finishing bottom of the World Cup?
We don't know. I mean, the management that loves him. I don't know what it is. I've given up on the German national team a long time ago. I'm barely keeping up. I lost interest. I don't know why he still has a job. He's not very good. Um, it's just I don't know. I
Okay.
can't tell you. I can tell you.
All right. Borussia Core, Germany. How far can they go in at this Euros?
So for me personally, I actually think Germany can go to the semifinals.
How?
What? What the hell?
The reason why I'm saying that is even though yes, Germany have a bad squad, don't get me wrong, and they don't have a lot of the experienced players, Lowe knows how to get teams to the extra edge. And what I mean by that is he knows how to get them to the semis. He's really good at
What
it.
did he do last World Cup?
Um, Last World Cup was a disaster. Okay, it was a disaster. But what I'm saying is, and listen to this, I still feel like the German FA is still living in, and I'll say this again, they're still living in 2014. The German FA is still living in 2014. And that is why they don't want to sack Joachim Low. Is because they're still living in 2014 and they're still living in this fairy tale land. And because of that, it's going to be very hard for them to win the Euros. You get what I'm trying to say? But I can see them reaching quarters or semis. I just don't see them winning it. But I have to say, I really do respect them. They are very relevant in 2019. I agree.
Okay.
What?
Okay. I mean, I think you're completely wrong, but that's fair enough. Abdullahi, Germany. Abdullahi, Germany. Talk to me about Germany, Abdullahi. All right. Machine, Germany.
I'm just sort of bored by them. I don't. But I always was actually. But they win. That's the thing. It's one of those
Come on,
two teams.
2014, they were good. 2014, give them their props in 2014, man. They were really
No,
good.
in 2004. Listen, in 2014, it's a miracle that they won. It's because that tournament was rigged for Argentina in every possible sense,
Oh
including
my God.
including the seedings and the locations in which teams played, and Argentina just stayed put in the most comfortable regions in Brazil, and Germany had to go to Manaus and all these cesspools that were 7,000 kilometers away from each other, playing in the armpits of Brazil, and they still managed to toil their way to the final and win. I mean, it's one of the biggest blunders on the part of Argentina that they couldn't. They didn't manage to win that World Cup because it was put there on a plate for them. But yeah, credit to them. But the thing with me, it's with German teams, you never see like a flashy superstar player, individualist. It's all about Gestalt. It's all about the team being cohesive and it's more about them being workhorses than really talent per se. But that wins. That gets you titles, man. That gets you trophies, and so you should never sleep on them. Just the same way that you should never sleep on Italy, even though everybody seems to forget to forgotten Italy exists. But that's when they go in and win things.
Thank you.
All right. Let's look at the Netherlands now. A lot of people are sort of like giving a lot of praise and say that Netherlands are going to surprise a lot of people. And see, here's my thing: the Holland have gone through probably their worst period I can remember. I think it's 2 major tournaments they failed. So they weren't in the 2018 World Cup and they weren't in the Euros. 2 major tournaments they failed to qualify for. It's the worst period that they've ever had. Ronald Koeman has come in and has totally revitalized the team. And as impressive as they have been and they have looked, I don't see a Kluivert, I don't see a Seedorf, I don't see a Dennis Bergkamp, I don't see a Davids, I don't see a Frank de Boer, I don't see I don't see a Robin, I don't see a Snyder. They're not those cutting edge Dutch players that they once had. And I think that without those kinds of guys, I don't know whether there's enough for them to go ahead and win this whole thing. I think it's a great team there, and I think maybe the advantage is that there are no egos. There are no egos there, and I think what has always held Holland back is maybe there are a few egos over individualists. But this might be the most, even if this is probably one of probably the least talented Dutch team I've seen, is probably the most cohesive together Dutch team that I've seen. So I'm saying, I'll say semis max. I'll say semis max.
Wow.
As much as I think I will say it doesn't mean that they'll reach the semis, but I feel that is the maximum that I think they can get to semis, but they're not sniffing the final. No way. But semis max. So Hazem, Holland.
Yeah, so the Netherlands, this is what I'll say. It's like they have a pretty young team. They don't really have much experience in the team. And this is like the perfect team to them getting back to relevancy after getting really destroyed in the past couple of years. And they've been playing good football. And under Koeman, he's actually been making them look pretty good against a side like Germany. And he's been exploiting their talents. Well, this is the thing I'll say is pretty crucial in my opinion. They've been conceding goals left and right throughout the qualifications. And you got to see the common anomaly. Obviously, Van Dijk is making mistakes here and there. But why is this guy starting the Ligt over De Vrij? I do not understand this decision.
That makes sense. But I think it's just the name because De Vrij and what's it called? Skriniar have been great for Inter.
De Vrij has literally been Inter's best defender this year, and not only this year, also last year. And the Ligt is not even close to De Vrij's level at the moment. So why do you keep on starting this guy? And he keeps on making mistakes, not only in Juventus, but also in the national team. He's letting markers go. He's all over the place. I know he's been improving his form recently with Juve, but still, De Vrij has levels above this guy. And if you have a partnership of Van Dijk and De Vrij, wow, that can really get the Netherlands really far in this tournament. And this is the crucial thing for me. If you keep on starting the Ligt, I don't see the Netherlands getting past round of 16. Because other than that, they have a pretty talented team with Van de Beek, De Jong, Wijnaldum, strong midfield, but they don't really have any experience to have that cutting edge. But if they start De Vrij in the center back position with Van Dijk, I can even see them reaching semis because of the defensive.
So you don't see them winning it?
Give them. No. It's you can. It's too early in the rebuilding process for them to win it, and
Okay.
they don't have enough world class players and winners that can win you games. So yeah, I'm
Okay.
saying semifinals.
All right. Borussia Cole, Netherlands.
Netherlands are irrelevant in 2019.
Oh boy.
They will never, ever win a Euros. Neither will they ever win a World Cup.
They've already won a Euros. They won it in 1988, but continue.
Respect Van Basten.
They've bottled so many World Cups. That is the thing. When you bottle too many World Cups, you remind me of Juventus because, for example, Juventus has bottled so many UCL finals. Holland has been to so many finals, and yet they've bottled. It is
So has
very,
Dortmund.
very, very, very sad.
So has Dortmund.
And what I would say here too is, sorry, Hassan, was I speaking when you were speaking?
Borussia Cole, just land, man. Please land.
Was I speaking when he was speaking? No. Okay. So my thing here is, I think the minimum Holland can do is the group stage. Holland is not good enough. Koeman is not the right manager. This team is good, very young players. I like the chemistry, but yet again, there are just too many non-experienced players in this team that will literally only get them to a group stage knockout. That's it. That's
Okay. All right. Landtamer.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like quarters max. They have too many obvious weaknesses in their team. Obviously, Van Dijk, we all know about him. But we know about De Jong, even though he's been kind of meh for Barcelona. Van de Beek looks like a good player, but outside of these 3 or 4 players, it's like they have a goalkeeping issue. I mean, Sillerson is not a very good goalkeeper. He's average, maybe a bit above average.
He's trash.
They don't have good fullbacks. Van Aanholt, Dumfries, Europa League level player.
Yeah.
They don't. They have a weak attack. They don't have a striker. Who's their striker? Depay? Is that their striker? Competing against the likes of
Donny
Is a striker?
Depay is playing center forward for Leon, but he's not a real striker, is he?
Also Donny Malen.
Malen is not even in the team.
No,
They have a young kid playing for Alkmaar called Stengs, he's a talented kid, but it's not enough. It's not enough for 2020. They have too many possessions that they're lacking in. So, but they could make the quarters. Could be quarters.
All right. Machine, round us off with the Netherlands. Thoughts? How far do you think they can go?
How much? Not far. It's a good youth team, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, they show promise. They'll probably make some noise in the next World Cup, but not now.
Okay, so basically, they should be aiming for the World Cup then.
But yeah, they should be. I mean, they should be aiming for this, obviously, but I don't think they have a chance.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they might make some noise in the next World Cup, not for the Euros.
But I think the unfortunate thing is that I think Koeman is joining Barcelona next summer, so they won't have him at the World Cup. Let's look at England. So, before we go, let me just hit the super chats here right now. From Dean Classic, thank you very much, Dean Classic, for your super chat. He says that should wingers be selfish or be servants for strikers? Well, to put it very simply, Mr. Dean, in today's day and age, you don't see many traditional wingers. I think wingers have evolved to inside forwards who are pretty much strikers that just play out wide. So I just don't think that wingers, in the traditional sense, are really being played now. Maybe we'll see a return to wingers soon when the game now changes the game. But I think as of right now, people that play wide, 9 times out of 10, if you're seeing a team that has wide players, they are inside forwards, and their job really are their goal scorers and their strikers are just strikers who play out wide. They can try and provide, but really their main function is they're the strikers of the team, and the strikers themselves are there to facilitate those inside forwards. So
you know who the wingers are these days?
Who?
Wingbacks.
There we go.
What?
Yeah.
Wingbacks, they're the
yeah.
ones that really hug the wing
And it's also been the downfall of strikers.
Oh, no, I'm not yet. I mean, because again, it's like the striker right now. The striker used to really feed off of the creativity and the crossings from wingers, But I think that, but see, the weird thing though is that when you look at wing backs, you have to worry about your defensive work probably a bit more than your attacking work. But remember when you looked at wingers before, they didn't have as much responsibility for defending as much as wing backs do, who are primarily defenders. So wingers could put much more focus into delivering good quality crosses and hugging the wing. Hence why strikers could get better deliveries from wingers who perfected crossing. Wing backs, you're not perfecting your crossing. You're really perfecting your positioning defensively and then working on how to go up and down the line. So basically, as Hassan said, strikers have pretty much suffered with regards to getting creative work. England. Here's my take here on England. Southgate is the problem. So a lot of people said, it's coming home, it's coming home, blah blah blah. Southgate is the hero and everything. You beat Sweden and Colombia, okay. But my thing about it is that I feel England will have the best attacking options at these Euros. I don't think there's any other country that will have better attacking talent, individually or personal, than England. And I feel that the way that England can really make some serious noise is if they play a brand of very expressive, expansive football that plays into the hands of their very attacking team. If they play a balanced or pragmatic game, they'll get beat because their defense is weak and they have no midfield. But they have a really, really dangerous attack that has speed, skill, dribbling, and goal scoring. So for Southgate, does he have the ability to make this team play very dynamic? Something that we've not really seen from England. Maybe the last time that we saw that from England was maybe back at the Euros in Euro 96, where they were a very attacking team. So, and as people have mentioned in the chat thing, the semis are at Wembley and the final is at Wembley. So if England can somehow make the semi or the final, I think they have a great chance. But if it's me, for England, I'm saying semis max. I think they may be able to get the semis, but I'm not sure. Even if they're at Wembley, they're going to meet a big team in that semis. So if they meet a Belgium or a France or even a Netherlands, even if they're at Wembley, I'm not sure that they'll be able to get past them. So, Hazem, England, what are their chances?
England is the biggest hype train I've
Damn.
ever seen.
It's coming home. It's coming home. Yeah.
My head was filled with it's coming home with this whole World Cup, and ever since then they didn't do it. Croatia beat them, thank God, because you would have never heard the end of it if they won the World Cup. And this is what I was saying. England always gets so hyped that it's bad for them. So I just hope if England want to do anything in this tournament, everybody needs to be completely silent and put no expectation on this team, and they could surprise everyone. But I already know what's going to happen. English media is going to go crazy. Oh, they're beating Bulgaria 6-0. Let's all celebrate. It's coming home immediately. No, these guys are not going to. They're going to bottle it when it comes against a big team. And I think every single time they have these qualifications where they have such an easy group in qualifying to the tournament. Somehow, some way, they always have such easy teams that they're smashing 6-0, 4-0 left and right.
Can only beat what's in front of you, pal.
Yeah, and they couldn't beat what is in front of them when it comes to the actual big games. So they beat what's in front of them when it's in the easy qualifier games. And when it actually reaches the stage where all the expectations are put on the table and where you actually have to show your jewels, they just bottle it. So, they have a good squad. They have a good squad this season, as they usually do have. They've been playing well against Kosovo, Montenegro, Bulgaria. All right, great, good job. They lost against Czech Republic. It's like I don't expect them to do anything against a big team when they meet one.
So how far? Quarters max, semis max, final.
They have a good attack, so I think they'll get them pretty far. But I don't see them getting past quarters. So they'll have a decent performance. Quarters. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Borussia Core, England, the red and white. How far can the English boys go?
I actually rate England. I think England can do something in this Euros. But this is my problem with England. There is no creativity in that midfield because I just feel like they need some. I think if they really want to win it, they're gonna need some creativity in that midfield. And I really also do think that they're gonna really need to be clinical. I think that a lot of the problems with England is they have a problem with being clinical in knockout stage games. You know what I'm trying to say? Because in the World Cup they had to rely on Harry Kane's penalties to take them to the semifinals. So um I'm gonna say semis max. I'm gonna say semis max. I think Southgate has a good chemistry going. I think he has something good going on with this team, and I think England can get into a semis. For them to win it, I think they're lacking two things: creativity and a bit of clinical edge that they need in, let's say, in a crucial game that can, I would say, take them or even help them win a finals. You get what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
Yeah. And they could use Vardy. I think Vardy would solve that problem a lot. If they really bring Vardy into the team, I think he'd solve that problem a lot. So yeah.
Okay. Actually, so before I just get to Lansing, let me just hit this super chatish. So Dean Classic again. Thank you for the super chat. Dean Classic says, "Love England, but it's coming home annoys greatly." Look, for me, I just think
Yes.
it's the English sense of humor. I mean, but it did get very annoying afterwards. And trust me, walking the streets and having people screaming, coming home in your face, it can get annoying. But look, it was just out of fun, man. Trust me, because it's English sarcasm. It's English sarcasm.
Nah.
England, how far can they can go?
In my opinion, there's no reason that it shouldn't be coming home. I mean, England
Boy.
are stacked. This team is better than the team that played 2 years ago at the World Cup and reached the semis because they have Alexander Arnold, who's a much better player than he was 2 years ago. I mean, I have the team in front of me, and other than defense, and even in defense, they're good. I mean, you have City players, Liverpool players, Chelsea players, Chilwell for Leicester. You have a good goalkeeper in Pickford, which is their weakest area, you could say. It's still solid. I mean, they need coaching, but it's still solid. And attacking positions, they're stacked. Midfield, they're stacked.
Midfield?
Midfield, they're stacked. Yeah. Madison, Mount, Chamberlain, Henderson, Winks.
Oh, easy. Okay. Lansima.
Look, you don't need. You don't need.
Wait. Lansima, are you telling me that Henderson? Because I'm talking about central midfield. Madison for me is an attacking midfielder who is very good in the center of the midfield.
Yes.
Are you telling me that Henderson and Winks can stand up to a Spain midfield, an Italy midfield, a Portugal midfield, a France midfield?
Why not? Why not? Henderson was a vital cog in the Champions League run. Wasn't he playing against Barcelona, against the mighty Busquets and the mighty Rakitic? Wasn't he playing there? Am I wrong? Did my eyes deceive me? Was it not Henderson? Was it not? Was it not?
No. But
It's mostly Fabinho.
Lansima, this is what I always say. You have to look at who he was playing with. Wijnaldum and Fabinho helped to elevate Henderson's game. If Henderson looks and sees Winks is next to him, I'm sorry, that doesn't evoke as much confidence as looking and seeing Fabinho and Wijnaldum.
Winks doesn't have to start. I think Madison has to start ahead of Winks. I think Madison has to start. I don't know what Southgate is playing at. I think Madison is a great player. Can become a lead player. But
Madison is a number 10, not a central midfielder.
But I think he can. But in the same vein, England aren't coming up against super teams like in the UCL. No team in this competition is incredible. No team in this competition is unbeatable. This is not the World Cup. You don't have Brazil, Neymar's Brazil or Messi's Argentina. So I think what England's problem, it has always been England's problem. They always choke. They choke against nations like Iceland, for God's sake. So this is England's problem. I think England's biggest enemy is England. Just overcoming that mentality of like that shit, that horrible mentality that they displayed in 2016 and the teams with
Always.
Terry Ferdinand. That's going to be their major problem. But as far, I mean, we always say City and Liverpool are two of the best teams in the world, and some of the best players on those teams are English, Sterling, Alexander Arnold, and so on. So why not? Like they can go as far as they want to. There's no incredible team. I mean, France are really good, but that Belgium are really good. But would you say they're miles ahead of England? I wouldn't.
Yes.
I wouldn't say so. So
Okay.
I think they can win it. Will they win it?
How far can England? How far can England go?
They can win it, but they won't win it.
What?
They can win it.
What kind of answer is that?
Okay. Machine, England.
That's my Lion Tamer nailed it on the head in 7 different times.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I can sort of foresee England going to the final. That's my dream final, is Portugal England, with Portugal winning, obviously.
Me too.
But and I sort of feel it. I sort of feel it in the ether. But yeah, what are you going to say? They lack that mentality, that winning spirit, in football. I think it's the sense of propriety that they have over the sport. They feel that it's theirs, that they invented it, so they can never really get away from that. There's an added sense of pressure to that sentence that we were all mocking. You say they say it tongue in cheek, but the fact is the players sort of feel that burden. They actually do believe it, sort of. Oh, oi, we invented the sport, mate. Let's bring it home, yeah. I do think that it's something that works as a sort of burden for them mentally.
So you feel they can get to the final?
Yes. I feel and I predict that they'll get to the final.
All right. So let's just hit the super chat before we go to the next team. So thank you for your £10 super chats, Mr. Anthony McKean. He says England stand a chance. The problem is still the lack of a genuine number 10 to control the ball and pull strings in a highly competitive knockout games like Modric did to us and Hello in Euro 2012. I think that is the key, and I think England have missed a midfield and control games, and I think that should have really been Scholes. And maybe it's the manager of the system, but I think Scholes was that player. I think Scholes was supposed to be the player who, because I always say that Scholes technically is one of England's greatest ever midfielders, and I think I put Scholes technically ahead of Lampard and Gerrard. But I do feel though that even if Maddison isn't the same level as a Scholes, I think if England play the same kind of way that I liken it to what Barcelona did in 2015, get the ball to the attack as quickly as possible, bypass the midfield. So it has to be a very aggressive, very direct kind of play. And I think if Maddison can play a really key role, and if Maddison can just master the number 10 position, that's why Southgate is being a brick. He needs to play Maddison more times so he can form an understanding with Sterling, Rashford, Kane, and so forth. Because if that four can form an understanding, I think those guys can cause some teams a lot of issues, and they just have to sort out the defense. And yeah. All right, let's go to Portugal, man. Now, Portugal have a very interesting blend, and I think that also just very quickly, Fernando Santos always looks like if he's about to cry. So I think someone needs to just help him, because like every time I see Fernando Santos, it's like if he's suffering from something. So he just needs to just chill.
He needs to pop in a few Xanax.
Yeah. No, look, he looks under pressure even when his team is winning 5-0. But put it that way, Portugal have a very interesting mix. There's experience. They're guys who are world class, right now, and they are up and coming players. I mean, you can look at one of my favorite underrated players. Machine, help me out. The midfielder, central midfielder.
Bruno
Um,
Fernandes,
Bruno Fernandes is
no. Who
Ruben
like
Neves,
he's like the anchor of the midfield. Like plays.
Carvalho.
Thank you, William Carvalho. Very underrated. I just like how I like what he does in that midfield. I mean, from Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Neves, you have flipping Bernardo Silva, you have to have the Pepe, you have the Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a nice blend there. And the thing about Portugal is people you now have a target on your back. 2016, you've never won a major trophy. What the hell are this guy's going to do? Blah, blah. You're playing the host of the final. They went and won it. So you're coming in as the holders. France are coming in as the World Cup winners. Portugal are coming in as the holders. So in my view, I'm going to say semis max. I don't think they'll win it. I don't think they'll get to the final. But I do see them definitely getting to the semis because I just feel that Fernando Santos is a very good tactician. And if Fernando Santos can somehow, and look, this could be João Felix's tournament, this could be the tournament that really announces him. Because I still feel like if he's been bonding with the kind of pressure and the hype that he's been had, and maybe this is something that he shines, but I just feel that for Portugal, I just think that because they now have a target on your back and they're now known as defending champions and nobody's seen them as underdogs, I think that will go against them. So guys will now sort of raise their game against it because you're coming in. We are playing the defending champions now. So I'm going to say semis max. So before I go to Hazem, let me just show you the super chats here from NOK who says France has it locked down. I can't really say that's because of Deschamps. Didier Deschamps is still tricky. France are strong. I don't think they've got a lockdown, bro. I think they have to go out and earn it. Hazem, Portugal.
Yeah, these guys are serious. Portugal are serious. Portugal are really serious here. And before I say where they're gonna get, you're right. They have a mix. They have a mix of experience and young talent. In terms of, you have Ronaldo, you have Bernardo Silva, and then you have the young guys with Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Neves, Ruben Diaz in defense, great talents, and they have good fullbacks as well in Cancelo and Semedo. So I think they can really cause some problems in this tournament. And they've kept the balance of the coach of Santos, and he's proven that he can get the job done even if it's that ugly. And this time, I think they'll actually be playing some better football. They've been playing some decent football in qualifiers, much better than last Euros, I'll say. And even though Ukraine topped the group and beat them, drew against them and beat them, which is, by the way, Ukraine is a huge underdog in my opinion. But I still think Portugal is looking very strong, and I can really see this Portugal team reaching the semifinals, and I don't see anything stopping them. They have the perfect mix of everything in terms of coach, talent, experience. Ronaldo, that's already a positive by itself with the mental aspect and familiarity with each other. They have everything that seems to be clicking right now, and I can see them beating any of the big teams. We saw them in the Nations League. They beat the big teams when it matters. They beat the Netherlands. And that's a huge experience for them. Even though it's a friendly tournament, the Nations League was a crucial experience for the young players to be ready for this Euros. And I can definitely see them do something interesting in this Euros, and I see them reaching the semis. And that's a minimum, in my opinion, because I was even thinking of putting them in the final, but it's too early for me to say such a thing. So I'm just going with a semis minimum right here.
Okay. Borussia Core, Portugal.
So I personally think the thing about Portugal is, I think Portugal is kind of like the Liverpool of the Euros. They are very two flexed. Like, they can play two flex football. You get what I'm trying to say? Unlike the other teams, because you look at the other teams, like England and all these guys, they don't really play two flex football. You see, Portugal can attack, they can sit back and be pragmatic. They know how to outscore the opponent. You know what I'm trying to say? So I got finals written all over. I think Portugal is gonna go to the finals.
Wow.
Again, because this
Back
is
to
one
back
thing.
finals.
Yeah. This is one thing.
Repeats.
Yeah. There's one thing that people don't understand. Um, Portugal is a very good knockout stage team. They're a very good they know how to play in the knockout stage. You see, and they have the players to outscore their opponents. You get what I'm saying? You look at any other team, name the amount of players who can outscore their opponents. It's not that much. You see, it's really not that much. So yeah, I think Portugal will go to the finals, and I can see Cristiano getting his second international trophy. He really deserves it. I really
Okay,
do
well,
think
well, well, hopefully, let's hope that he shows up in the final this time though. Machine, your boys, your fellow country people, can they do it? Can they bring home the cookie?
Let's go.
Of course they can. You know who's playing in the team, right?
No, I don't. But
It's
carry
your
on.
boy. It's your boy. So of course, just by that alone, of course, we can make it. But for the last World Cup, there were a lot of people that were sort of in my fellow countrymen that were sort of hopeful that we get somewhere in the World Cup, and I was like, man, not a chance. It's too green. We were like the Holland of what Holland is now is what we were in the last World Cup. And I think now for the Euro, a lot of the budding talent that was much too green is now ripe to really do something special. And there are a few players that haven't shined yet, and they should, because for example, Bruno Fernandes is it's sort of like a scandal that he's still in Sporting. It's a phenomenon, because he's up there with the very best in his position. He should be playing for Real or one of these really big clubs, and but he hasn't done anything in nothing special in the national team. He scored in the last game, a nice goal from what I hear, but he's underperformed, and I think that type of player is going to shine a lot more than João Felix, who has too much pressure on him, and he's way too green. Way too green. As for where we can get, I think we can get to the final. Like I said, my dream final is England-Portugal, and I don't think it's out of the reality of what we're dealing with at the moment. I think it's perfectly feasible. If you leave out France, ignoring France, imagining that they don't win, I think Portugal-England final is a very real proposition, and I'm hopeful that that's what happens.
Okay, Abdullahi, Portugal. How far do you think they can go? Abdullahi, please stop cooking. Please stop cooking.
I'm not cooking. I've stopped my cooking.
Okay, good. So Portugal, how far do you think they can go?
Double H. I already said it already to you, Hangout. They are my all-time favorite already to win it.
Still think they will win it?
All time.
They will win it. Favorite to win it. I have nothing to think in that. Favorite. I've already treated them as my number one pick for them to win it. Already. Wow. They are the defending champion. So I see no reason why they can't win it again.
Okay.
We have the GOAT.
Italy. Now, people, I think this is 2006 all over again, because there is no arguments as to how Italy can actually win this thing. Completely under the radar. Did they finish third or bottom of the World Cup group in 2018?
They didn't reach the World Cup, bro.
Oh my God!
They lost to Sweden in qualifiers.
Oh Lord!
They lost in the qualifiers.
Yes. So basically, look, it feels like 2006 all over again. These guys are super, super, super underdogs. But a new coach, Roberto Mancini, new regime, and I feel that this is where Italy love to be. This is where they love to be. There, where there's nobody is even thinking about them. And I'm telling you right now, I don't even know how to predict this. I have no idea. Hence why I think Italy are the real danger team. Because of the fact that they are such underdogs, but we know that Italy are always talented, and you have to pretty much kill them to beat them, because these guys care so much. And I feel that because they're such an overwhelming underdog and they're coming in way under the flipping radar, they're going to be the most dangerous team to face at these Euros. So I don't know. I can't. So if you're going to tell me where Italy is one team where I think these guys they could either be knocked out in the quarters, or these guys could just go all the way. These guys could just potentially go all the way. And for me, I am personally I just want to just see Verratti ball. I want to just see Verratti ball because we were robbed of seeing the best central midfield in the world at the World Cup. So if Verratti just balls and does his thing, and it seemed where you've got Immobile in there. I think Belotti might still be even in the striker. What's the name? I think is it Chiesa or something. There's talent.
Chiesa.
Yeah. So there's talent. So in my view, I think Italy could surprise a lot of people. So Hazem, Italy, thoughts?
I'll be 100% honest. I see Italy. I can see them reaching the final in this tournament. I can see them reaching the final. I'm 100% honest right here, because the way they've been performing in this qualifying, and the players that they have, and the players that have been performing in their own leagues is really, really good. And they've managed to build some kind of spirit that they're really, really pushing as a team and working together to really get Italy back to where it belongs. And they're really, really disappointed with how they couldn't qualify to the World Cup. That was a huge embarrassment for Italy. The media was decimating the Italian national team for ages, and so much pressure was being put on them. And they really want to get Italy back and put them back on the big stage. And I think these players are really stepping up to the test. And I mean, look, their team is looking really good right now. They have an experienced defense of Acerbi and Bonucci, and by that time Chiellini is going to be back, so he could even step in. And their midfield is really where it's looking really good, because they have Jorginho, Verratti, Barella, and Sensi on the bench, who could even start. So they've got great players in the midfield, and Zaniolo on the bench as well. So they got a stacked midfield, and with creativity as well as defensive ability. And obviously in the attack, they hit the right spot right now where Belotti is back on form and one of the top scorers in Europe, and he's performing in national team as well. So Belotti, and of course Chiesa and Insigne on the wings. So these guys are dangerous in all departments. In almost every single department, these guys are looking really good. And obviously Mancini is getting these guys to play well, and they've been looking good against tough games like Greece, Bosnia, tough games, and they've been winning easily. So I see Italy going really far in this tournament, and I just see them. They have this sort of cohesiveness, and mental aspect is really high, that I can see them reaching really far in this tournament and even reach the final. So yeah, and I forgot to mention even Romagnoli in defense as well. So I see them going far in this tournament. Italy's looking really good.
Borussia Call, Italy, Italiano.
HH, to be honest, I don't think Italy is gonna go anywhere in this Euros. If you look at just look at Mancini's track record of knockout stage games. Mancini's not really good in knockout stage competitions. I'll be honest. I can't even count the time Mancini even won a knockout stage competition. You get what I'm trying to say? And the thing about Italy is there's no Pirlo, there's no Inzaghi, there's no there's no experienced player in that whole elite team. It's all these young players who just do not have the experience to win a Euros. You get what I'm trying to say? So my thing here about Italy is, I think for Italy, I don't trust Mancini. Mancini is not known. He's not credible. He's not reliable for knockout stages. Neither are the players that are playing for Italy. They're not reliable. They're not credible for the knockout stage competitions because they all have a mistake in them, and it's just fact. So yeah, that's all I got for Italy. But yeah,
All right.
I wouldn't
Yeah, I
base
just
it
want to
on
say that I agree with Milko on Mancini. Yeah, that's for me. That's the negative for Italy is that Mancini. You never know what you get. So that's I agree.
Look,
With that.
for me, I don't rate the guy as a manager, man. Trust me. Every
Yeah.
success he's had has been given to him. So, Lansimo, Italy.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the. I don't have a lot of nice things to say about Italy, but
Oh God.
one thing I will say is this is one of the
Increase your
better
volume.
Italy teams in recent history. But I just find it funny how Hazem praises Italy to high heaven, but bashes England for no reason when these English players are far more relevant in European football, in UCL football for a
I
long
agree.
time now. For a long time now. So
Because
I'm looking at
because Italy isn't as hyped as
Italy,
England. That's why. By the way.
this Italy team. Like you mentioned, Grandpa Bonucci and Old Man of Serbia at the back. Really?
Experience. Yeah.
Who? Some of these players, like who are these players? Orsolini, Castrovilli.
Anthony doesn't
This
start.
is a
They
pasta
don't
recipe.
start. Those players don't start.
What is this? Who are these players? I don't know these players. And another thing, if you expect, what's his name, Verratti to ball out, you're gonna be gravely disappointed. This isn't Dijon mustard. This isn't Brest FC. All right, this isn't Amiens.
Lansimo, relax. Come on.
I'm
The
very
hell?
relaxed. I'm very relaxed.
Verratti,
You
Jorginho.
find that I'm very relaxed, CJ. And as far as the
Admit it, Italy
strikers
has
go,
better midfield than England.
what has Immobile and what has Belotti ever done outside of Italy? Nothing. I'm going to answer for nothing. Bernadeschi, I've seen him in the in Serie A a few times. I've seen him in the UCL. He's garbage. He's garbage.
Exactly.
El
He's garbage.
Sharawi is still in the national team somehow. Insigne is washed. I have. This is one of the better Italian teams. This is better than the team from 2 years ago, but it's not enough. It's
I'm sorry.
absolutely
sorry.
not enough
I
to do
agree.
damage at the Euros. So will they get out their groups? If the group is easy, yeah, but a round of
Stage
16,
one.
man.
Group
Round of
stage one.
16. Round of 16 or
Stage one.
quarters,
Stage one
whatever it is. Whatever the
knockouts.
first round is, post the group stage.
Okay.
No, just group
I need
stage.
to
Just group
respond,
stage.
man.
All right. Machine. Italy. Thoughts on Italy. Round us off. Italia.
I'm not going to add anything interesting about Italy, but can I throw the ball back to Lion Tamer and get his take on Portugal, because I'm really curious. I don't know if the rest of the show is as well,
Thank you.
because he dropped out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Portugal.
if that's fine with AJH, yeah. I think Portugal will go as far as Ronaldo can take them. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Ronaldo is the core of that team. I'm impressed with Fernandes. I watched him last season. I'm surprised Man United or any other like big club didn't go for him. Joao Felix, I'm not sure about that kid. I think Atleti was the wrong move. I expected so much more, but I'm not even sure he's going to make the squad at this rate. But
Oh, easy. Relax. Chill.
I've been very impressed with Font. Been very impressed with Neves for Wolves, for Moutinho.
I rate the guy.
They have some they have a very solid foundation, and with one of the best goal scorer of all time. I mean, they can go as far as Ronaldo it can take them, which is probably the final. I mean, I can see them go all the way. I can see Portugal go all the way.
Okay.
Ronaldo to stay injury free.
All right, guys. Look. That's all it's for this week. But we are gonna do
Let's talk about underdogs.
Hangouts on Friday because yes,
Can I say my take on Messi? Can I say my take on Laessi real quick?
no. For a second, no. I will try and promote your channel and all that kind of stuff, man. So for Friday, we're gonna do a preview of Chelsea Man City. It's going down. Yes, it's going down. Chelsea Man City is going down. So, guys, remember to drop a like, remember to subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you guys probably on Friday. Peace out, stay true.
Forza Milan.
I'm out.
Forza Milan.
Peace out.